Hello, welcome to Wrestle MSX. I'm Michael.
I'm Sally.
AJ Styles defeated Chad Gable.
Roxanne Perez defeated Liv Morgan, Kairi, Sane and Rhea Ripley in a first round fatal 4-way match for Queen of the Ring.
Sami Zayn defeated Penta, Dominik Mysterio and Bron Breakker in a first round fatal 4-way match for King of the Ring.
And Gunther defeats Jey Uso to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Now, if you want to know what actually happened, Cena is confronted by CM Punk.
Bayley's back.
R-Truth cuts his hair.
LA Knight, BFT's Breaker.
And Nikki Bella gets obliviated.
It's all going on. We open with John Cena, and after telling the crowd that they have no power to change anything, thinking they've saved R-Truth, Cena brings up his appearance clock, which now shows he only has 19 dates to go, which includes the one he's on, so really it should show 18. He asks for competition and claims to have beaten our best, Truth, Rhodes and Orton. Of course, someone's music hits, and that someone is CM Punk. Punk tells Cena he has faced the best we have in Cody Rhodes, but only beat him because he takes shortcuts and cheap shots. Punk reminds Cena that when he locked him in the STF Elimination Chamber, he said sorry because he knew what he was doing was wrong and the title has corrupted him. Punk then says that he has to become a monster to stop the monster. Punk tells Cena to pick a date for when he's going to take the title away from him, and that if he's a man, he'll say that date is tonight. Cena says, let's do it, but not tonight. We'll do it at Night of Champions. As the two square up, Burn It Down plays out, and out walks Seth, looking resplendent in his green and Money in the Bank suit. Seth just stands at the top of the rampway with his goon squad, holding up the Money in the Bank briefcase. He was scared.
We learn that Wade Barrett is standing in for Pat McAfee, then get into our first match, AJ Styles versus Chad Gable. Gable flanked by the Creeds, of course. A dropkick sends Gable to the outside, where Chad is then able to capitalise and throw Styles to the ground, only for us to hit a break and come back to Styles beating on Gable and covering for 2.
Gable then hits a German suplex, followed by a flying headbutt from the top rope, with a follow-up cover being kicked out of on 2. Styles, after powerbombing Gable, goes for the Styles Clash, but Brutus jumps on the apron, distracting the ref, which allows Julian to pull Gable to safety. Styles then takes out both Creeds and goes for the phenomenal forearm, but Gable manages to get the ankle lock on Styles as he's on the top rope. Styles escapes the move, gets Gable in the Styles Clash, executes, covers and wins.
In Gorilla, Roxanne Perez suggests to Liv Morgan that they should work together in their upcoming match, a first round fatal 4-way in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Liv replies by telling her to stay out of her way.
So, Liv Morgan versus Roxanne Perez versus Kairi Sane versus Rhea Ripley in the first round Queen of the Ring tournament fatal 4-way. Just flows off the tongue. Every time Ripley attacks Morgan, Perez is there to help in some capacity, but Sane puts a stop to that by sending both JD members to the outside so her and Ripley can then go at it. The two exchange pin attempts before Liv and Perez head back into the ring, work together and dominate Ripley and Sane, even dumping Sane over the top rope on to Ripley.
We come back from a break to find Perez saving Morgan from a cover by Sane, and then Sane saving Ripley from a cover by Morgan after a springboard codebreaker. We nearly get a powerbomb superplex in the corner, but only get the powerbomb from Ripley to Liv and Perez, with Sane then dropping a top rope forearm to Rhea and covering for 2.
Perez and Morgan then break another cover by Sane on Ripley and once again team up to take out Mummy and Sane. The two high-five at their job well done, wonder how Rodriguez is feeling, when Rhea gets up from the corner looking seriously annoyed. She clotheslines the JD members, then hits a fall-away slam to Perez before sending Sane out the ring with a headbutt and then riptides Morgan.
Rhea covers Liv, but as she's about to get the 3 count, Rodriguez pulls Rhea from the ring. The two fight on the outside only for Sane to take them both out from the top rope and then climb back up and drop an insane elbow to Morgan. Sane covers, but Perez makes the save with a jackknife cover. The cover gets the 3 count and Perez advances to the semi-final of the Queen of the Ring tournament.
We see A-Town Down Under arguing with each other in the back before we hit a break, come back and see Nikki Bella speaking with Maxine Dupree, Natalya and then Io Sky and telling her how much she respects her. After pleasantries are exchanged, we head back to the ring to hear from Becky Lynch. Lynch says she should have been celebrating her win, but didn't because of Lyra, claiming Lyra almost dislocated her shoulder when raising her hand in victory at Money in the Bank and then almost killing her.
Lynch then calls out Lyra to raise her hand again and to do it properly, with the former IC holder answering the call. As Becky awaits her fellow countrywoman, she's attacked from behind by Bayley. Lynch manages to escape but towards Valkyria, with Valkyria then sending Lynch ringbound, where Bayley goes for the rose plant. Lynch escapes again and heads away through the crowd.
As Cole and Barrett discuss what happened, a hooded figure interrupts them and mounts the announcer's desk. It's our Truth. Truth says he's back because of us and feels different. He then cuts his hair off and says he is Ron Killings.
Backstage with the Judgment Day, and Finn finds it strange that Dom's in the King of the Ring tournament, with Dom saying, well, you had your shot at Money in the Bank, so I didn't think you'd mind if I represented Judgment Day at King of the Ring. He then asks Balor if he's upset, with Balor saying, of course not. Roxanne Perez then appears, with Balor forcing everyone to congratulate her. As they do, Morgan and Rodriguez appear, with Morgan asking what everyone's celebrating. Perez said that she stopped Sane covering her, with Morgan replying, oh, is that what you did? Congrats then. Dom goes off for his match, with Balor smiling like a Cheshire cat.
We come back from a break to see Seth giving his squad a team talk, saying absolute power will be theirs, with Breakker then heading off for his match.
So, another first round fatal 4-way in the King of the Ring tournament between Penta, Dominik Mysterio, Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker. Heyman with Breakker. Penta dives after Dom, who'd rolled out the ring, leaving Breakker and Sane to go at it. Dom and Penta return, but shouldn't have bothered, as Bron dismantles them and drinks in his surroundings as we hit a break.
Nice. She's here all week. We come back to see Bron still in control until the other three realise that they should be teaming up with one another. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, with the three then taking out Breakker. Penta then goes for a cover on Dom after his corner headstand, but only manages 2, with Zayn then attacking Penta with a tornado DDT. Dom saves on 2.
We then end up outside the ring. Sami hits a sit-down springboard moonsault to Bron, with Penta coming off the top of the turnbuckle to crossbody Zayn. Not to be outdone, Dom dives out the ring at Penta and turns it into a DDT, with Bron then getting on the apron and diving at Dom and sending him over the announcer's desk. We have another break to recover, and when we come back we see Zayn suffer a Frankensteiner, with Penta powerbombing Dom. Dom then covered Breakker for 2 after Penta had DDT'd him, with the JD member throwing Penta out the ring to steal his cover.
Nice. Zayn then counters the third Amigo from Dom into a blue thunderbomb and covers for 2, with Penta then sacrificing Zayn and hitting him with a Penta driver, only for Dom to make the save on 2 and go for his own cover. But the pair, Penta and Dom, kind of botched it and it looked a little meh. Penta then hit his customary Mexican destroyer, with Breakker breaking up the flowing cover on 2 and sending him from the ring.
Breakker exited the ring, ran around the ring and speared Penta out of his boots. Only as Breakker got up, LA Knight appeared and hit blunt force trauma before disappearing through the crowd. Back in the ring, we catch Zayn haluva kicking Mysterio and then covering for the victory.
I do like where that's going. Backstage we see Kathy Kelly with AJ Styles and she asks him where he's at. Styles reels off Gable's name as well as Seth's and Dom's before saying if you disrespect him he's going to punch you in the mouth. Styles babbles on and then heads off to find Gable, with Kelly then noticing something. She walks over to New Day, who are speaking with Grayson Waller, with Waller making a sharp exit as she approaches. Kelly asks the New Day when they're going to defend their titles again, with Woods saying they're looking for that clear front runner. They do say a bit more, but it's just absolute trash.
We learn that WrestleMania 42 will be back in Vegas and get a vignette about Asuka, and then see that she'll return next week in a Queen of the Ring first round fatal 4-way against Ivy Nile, Raquel Rodriguez and Stephanie Vacquer.
Nikki Bella heads out next and talks about how proud she is of the women's locker room and the talent in them. She's then interrupted by Liv Morgan. Morgan says Nikki's lucky she wasn't around during her time, as she'd have beaten her, then adds that the Bella is jealous as Morgan has everything that she doesn't. Respect, a championship, and a man. Nikki fires back about who Dom belongs to, her or Perez, with Nikki then asking Liv to congratulate Perez for her for taking her title shot and her man. Nikki then leaves the ring with Morgan saying she's not bothered what she says as she's still a champion and all Nikki will be is a reality show diva. Nikki re-enters the ring but Morgan's too quick and oblivions her. Now Nikki does mention the upcoming women's only evolution or evolution or whatever you're going to call it, so I've got a feeling these two are probably going to have a match. It's, you know, anyway, no spoilers here.
We learn that John Cena will indeed defend his title at Night of Champions against CM Punk before we head to our last match of the night. Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Jey goes for an early sleeper with Gunther escaping the ring to regroup. As he does, we hit a break, come back and see Jey crossbody Gunther, only for Jey to hold his ribs on landing. Gunther then smells blood, with the Austrian removing Jey's shirt to reveal bandaged ribs, which I thought would have been taped for Money in the Bank. The former champion, of course, then targets the ribs, with the fight going to the outside. We hit commercials, come back and see Jey suplex Gunther before the pair have a chop-off.
Jey wins, then misses a hip attack, with the fight once again going to the outside, where Gunther drops Jey on the crowd barrier before sending him back in the squared circle. Gunther goes high, but Jey gets his knees up, spears and then splashes the ring general, with Gunther kicking out on 2. Jey then counters a powerbomb into a roll-up again for 2, with Jey then locking in another sleeper.
Gunther escapes and powerbombs Jey, covering for 2, with Gunther then spearing Jey and covering for 2. Sleeper attempts are then exchanged, with Jey super kicking, spearing and nearly Uso splashing Gunther as Gunther rolled out the way. With Jey landing on the mat and hurting his ribs, Gunther took advantage by locking in the sleeper. After what seemed an age, Gunther changed tack and started to rain elbows down on Jey to soften him up. But this backfired as it allowed Jey to escape his clutches and put Gunther in his own hold.
Gunther escaped again, hit Jey with elbows to the side of the head and then put him in the sleeper once again. This time it worked as Jey passed out and Gunther became a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. Raw, of course, goes off the air with Gunther holding the World Heavyweight Championship aloft and once again changing the landscape of Monday Night Raw.
This was a surprise to me.
Yeah, me.
I was not expecting Jey to lose.
No.
But that's why we like it. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
You don't always know what's going to happen.
Exactly,
you don't expect a title to change on Raw. I mean, as I said to you, if Gunther had lost again, then that's it. Gunther's got to be out of the title picture now.
Yeah.
He's had his chance. He's had multiple. That's it. But now you've got a bad guy, and Seth's a bad guy.
Yeah.
So, bad guy on bad guy crime. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
You don't always have to be a good guy against a bad guy. Of course it doesn't.
Because obviously, like, Seth came out at the beginning. He's probably just
held up the Money in the Bank.
He'd just be lurking around everywhere.
Of course he will. I'm surprised he didn't come down though. I thought that was a prime opportunity to take out Gunther because Gunther was pretty tired out after that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not going to cash it in yet. I mean, they could have done, which I did think because when Gunther had won, there was 2 minutes left.
And I was like,
oh, is he going to come down? Bron Bronson, #BronBronson, beats up Gunther and then Seth come. Well, why not? Because that would have made sense. Jey's lost, Seth's got it, that's it.
One tsunami. That's all he
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all he needed.
But for Jey to lose like that, I was very surprised. But and LA Knight coming out and BFT and Bron Breakker.
Yeah.
I did.
So
I like that.
I want to see where that goes.
I like that.
I'm looking forward to Cena and Punk. I know you're probably not, but
Where I Cena's going to win in, like Punk's going to win over there.
Yeah.
No chance. You wouldn't have that.
No. So any thoughts or views you'd like to share, then please feel free to leave them in that comment section just down below.
If you do watch, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And we'll see you Wednesday for a look at this past week in WWE and Saturday when we take a look at SmackDown.